We're good. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the 88th episode of the Koi Marketplace. I'm Sean. I'm very glad to be here. I haven't been here for a couple of weeks. Michael and Gabe have been handling the show in my absence. Feeling really good. If you guys don't remember, I don't know. Is it okay to say I had? I haven't had it since. What? What? Oh, this? Is that better? All right. Good morning, everyone. I'm not sure if you heard me. Welcome to the 88th episode of the Koi Marketplace. Is there anyone on yet? Hi, guys. I'm back. I'm very happy to be back. I was a little worried I wasn't going to be back. Very scary moment. I have had AFib. I went in for what is called an AFib ablation. Basically, my heart was getting out of rhythm. There were certain triggers that would cause it to go out of rhythm. Getting dehydrated, drinking coffee, alcohol. There are a couple of things that would trigger it. And it was time for me to get it fixed. And so what they did is they go in and they ablate the nerve. So they actually, what do you call it? What was that? They zap it, right. So they go in and actually have a way to trigger it so they know exactly which nerves to ablate. So they go in, they actually went into two different places. They went in at my neck and in my groin, and they go up and they ablate the nerve. So it took a couple of weeks for me to get back into the swing of things, but I'm okay now, and yeah, I'm very happy to be here. We do have the guys behind the scenes. Gabe, say hi.
Hello.
Michael, say hi. Gabe doesn't want to wave. There you go. So lots of things happening. You know, I did go back to work this week. We were finishing a project, so I'm excited about that. I did start to, you can see there's a bit of a mess here with the dirt here on the ground. I guess you can't see it right now, but I started making some space in the parking lot because cars were just having trouble backing out. So we started to push it back. We just brought a landscape designer in so that we can lay out this entire area up here. So this whole area is going to get redone. We're pretty excited about what we have planned. We have 3 ponds that are going in here, as well as some water features, and a patio area is planned for the back, so that we can actually have meetings and have all sorts of events in this area. So I'm excited about that. It is a small area. We may expand it a little bit. Where Mike's car is parked over there, I may actually expand that area, taking away that one parking spot to grow the area to give us more space for one of the ponds. It is starting to get cool out, and we're going to head on inside because it's also raining out. We're supposed to have an absolutely horrible weekend of weather. I'm not sure if it's supposed to last into next week, but I know this weekend it's going to be pretty bad. How many people we have on? So thank you guys for joining us today. I wanted to go over a couple of things. The weather is starting to change. And with the change in weather, we do have some things that we're going to start to do. With the change in weather, we need to start to talk about what's going to happen. Sorry, my glasses are starting to fog up. Oh, I forgot to say I lost 15 pounds. I'm pretty excited about that. I still have a really long way to go. I only need to lose, I think, another 85. So I have to lose another Michael or Gabe. So I'm working on that. So I started on this diet called Factor. I don't know if you guys have heard of that diet, but they deliver the food to you, and I have that for lunch and dinner. And I'm just going to take these off because I can't see anything. And it's working pretty well. I can't complain, and I have to get myself back into the swing of things. So, what's the point of doing all this if I'm not healthy and I'm not here to be able to do it with everyone here? So I need to take care of myself, and that's what I'm doing. So, so the weather is changing. So we're starting to get into conversations with our customers about what to do to prepare for the winter, for the fall and for the winter. And there's a lot of things to do, from preparing your pond to changing your food to eventually closing your pond. So there are a lot of things for us to talk about before we go start talking about fish. But what I would love to do is to hear from you guys. Let me know what you're interested in talking about today. What questions you have, especially pertaining to fall and winter. Let's talk about that stuff. We're going to start with food. So, as the temperature changes, you're going to want to change your food from a high protein based food to a cooler season food like a wheat germ based food, which is easier for the fish to pass. They're not able to absorb the higher protein in the cooler weather, so it's better to switch out to a cool season based food. So the food that we actually use a product called Blackwater's Cool Season. That's here. It comes in a 5 pounds, a 12.8, and a 40 pound, and it's an excellent food. You're going to start using that food when your water is in, I think, below 65. And I think we're getting to that point now. Have you checked the temperature on any of the ponds outside yet? So what's your temperature, guys? Let me know what your temperature is on your ponds. Trav, have you checked any temperature on any of the customers' ponds? Any idea?
They're probably still at like 70.
Yeah, that's what I figure. You're probably in the 70 range.
It's slowly coming down though.
Yeah.
A lot of the ponds are getting a lot colder.
Yeah, the weather is just starting to change here in New York. So at 65 going down, you're going to want to start to switch to a cooler season-based food, wheat germ-based food. We also use Hikari's multi-season. Let's see here. And we have the cool season food from Blackwater. And either one of these is a great product to use. If you have any questions or need them, we have them on the site. Let me know. I think the cool season, the 12.8 is 65, the 5 pound is 35.26, and the 40 pounds, the 40 pound is not here. Here it is. It's 150. So we did have it. And on the multi-season, a 4.4 pound bag is 61.49. What size do we get on the multi-season? It's just the 4.4s. Yeah. For whatever reason, it's very hard to get the other sizes in that food. It is what it is. Aeration, also another important thing to have. So, guys, we've talked about aeration so many times throughout the season, the importance of aeration. I'm going to go through it one more time. How many people are on? 18? Okay. So, if you don't have aeration on your ponds now, guys, it's one of the most important features you can have on your pond that is probably the most neglected. We consider a waterfall to be surface aeration, okay? An aeration system will do a lot of things. Obviously, it provides oxygen to the fish, but it'll also provide oxygen to your beneficial bacteria, your nitrifying bacteria, and your sludge-eating bacteria. It'll create current and flow, so it'll actually create surface turbulence that will push in a direction. So generally you want to have that aeration system, your diffuser, opposite your skimmer if you have a skimmer in the pond. Hopefully you do. You don't want to put it right in the middle because it will actually make debris harder to get to the aerator, the skimmer, which will be on the other side. So if your aerator is right in the center of the pond and your skimmer is over here, and anything that lands on this side of the pond is going to get trapped on this side of the pond by the surface turbulence that's created by the aerator. So instead, if your skimmer is over here, you want to keep your aerator over on the waterfall, either under the waterfall or to the left or right or both. But putting it in the middle can cause other issues. It also does what's called destratification. So what that means is it's going to take the low oxygenated water from the bottom of the pond, and mix it with it's going to take the low oxygenated water at the bottom of the pond and mix it with the high oxygenated water at the top of the pond, which is very important. And the added bonus in the wintertime is that it'll keep a hole in the ice and degas the pond. So what's happening in the winter is any leaves, debris, food, fish that may pass away, any of those things that break down and get trapped underneath the ice will literally poison the water and can kill your fish. The aerator will keep a hole in the ice and will degas the ponds. Now, what we like to do in the wintertime is different than what we do in season. So in season, we keep the aerator at the bottom of the ponds. In the wintertime, we like to take that diffuser. These are a new weighted diffuser we're carrying. Actually, this is Aquascape's weighted diffuser. What size is this? This is a 10-inch rubber membrane diffuser. It's weighted 3/8. Yeah, nice product. We just got these in, so we're going to check these out. I'm excited to try them. So what you want to do is, geothermally, the earth is heating the pond to an extent. So the fish are going down to the bottom where it's warmest. They're sitting on the bottom. They're laying in a torpor state. They're still awake. They will move around. They will swim around if you walk next to them. If you walk next to the pond, they're definitely going to, be aware that you're there. But their bodies have slowed down, and they're in a highly weakened state. But they're going to sit down at the bottom where it's warmest. And you don't want to send this cold air that's coming through this diffuser down to the bottom, because your aerator is sitting above ground. It's pulling that cold air, and it's going to send it down. And then you'll supercool the entire pond. So instead, if this is on a hose, you're going to pull that hose up to have it about a foot below the surface rather than sitting on the bottom. That way it's still providing oxygen to the pond, and it's keeping a hole in the ice, and it's degassing the pond. But it's not supercooling the whole pond. So if you're able to do that, it's highly recommended. If you have an aerated bottom drain, just turn off the aerated bottom drain. Okay, take the same air pump that you would normally have, turn off the aerated bottom drain, and get yourself a hose and another diffuser, and just hang it over the side for the winter. All right, and in the spring, if you don't want to leave that there, then just take it out and hook up your aerated bottom drain again. Cool. Any questions about that? Any questions about the food? Any questions about aeration before we move forwards? I'm really happy to be here. You know what? It was a very, very scary time. So many things cross through your mind when you're laying in a hospital bed, like wondering whether you're going to wake up after the surgery's over. It's very scary. No questions from anyone? You guys can hear me okay? Just want to make sure you guys can hear me okay. Cool. All right. All right. Well, we can go back to this if anyone has a question about it. We do carry multiple different types of diffusers. So this is what we call the MD5. Yes, question.
Spring is asking.
Hi, Spring.
So is this the year we may leave the waterfall pump on all winter?
This brings up a really, really, really good question. So to leave the pond running or not? This is an excellent question. I'm glad you mentioned this, because this was something I wanted to bring up and I did forget. So Spring's question is, should we leave the pond running over the winter? So there are positives and negatives to leaving your pond running. And we get this question quite a lot. Your beneficial bacteria is either going to go dormant or die off, depending on how cold it is. Okay, so in the winter months, you will no longer be doing biofiltration. You will continue to do mechanical filtration if you leave the system running. So that's definitely a bonus. The pond will also look nice, and seeing icicles hanging from the waterfalls and everything else, and that's all really cool. So you can continue to do mechanical filtration throughout the winter, which is definitely not a bad thing. However, there are also negatives to this whole thing. So if you leave your waterfall running, depending on how your waterfall is built, if there's a lot of splashing that can take place, the splashing will actually help to form ice channels that can send the water out of the waterfall area. So it'll actually create channels that will have the water go out of the waterfall area, potentially emptying your pond to an extent. Whether if you just have a skimmer, it's only going to lower it to the bottom of the opening of the skimmer. If you have a bottom drain, you could empty out your entire pond. So it is something that you have to be really careful of. So that's number one. Number two, if you leave your system running and you lost power in the middle of winter, all that water is going to be sitting in the plumbing. It will freeze, and you'll lose everything. You'll lose your filter, you'll lose your hoses, you could potentially even lose your waterfall box. Could freeze and expand and then separate the box. I've seen that happen. If you don't maintain it, so if you continue to do mechanical filtration and your filter pads in either your skimmer or your waterfall box or your pressurized filter or a bead filter, whatever type of filter system you have gets bogged down and that water slows down to a point where it's at a slow enough point that if it gets too cold, it freezes, you're also going to have a big problem. So, and then the last thing is if you run water over your waterfall in the middle of winter, you will supercool the water and send it right back to the pond. So that's another pretty big negative. You're basically putting your fish in harm's way. I'm not saying, is it going to kill your fish? You're supercooling the pond and anything could happen. So there are positives for and there are definitely a lot of negatives. We close, we're upwards, I think we open and close about 250 to 300 ponds every year. And I could probably count the amount of ponds we leave open on one hand. It's not very common. We do have some customers that have been doing it and they've been doing it consistently. So could you do it? Absolutely. Do you need to make sure that you have to make sure that you can maintain the pond through the winter. So it's something that we can talk about as continuing maintenance through the winter if you live on the island. But you have to continue to maintain it to make sure that the system is flowing properly. If God forbid something breaks down in the middle of winter, you better have either someone that can respond quickly or you have some redundant parts like pumps and things like that that you can replace at a moment's notice so that things don't freeze and you run into a major issue. And I'm going to go to heating your pond in a second. We'll talk about that in a sec. So should you do it? Can you do it? You can absolutely do it. You need to be able to make sure you can maintain the pond, and you also need to be able to have access to water so that you can, a lot of customers turn their water off. So if you turn your water off, you're not going to be able to do water changes if God forbid you need to, or adding water to the pond if God forbid you need to. So you have to make sure a bunch of things are in place in order to, I would say, safely leave your pond running through the winter. But a really good question. Michael, you got another question?
Aben asks, I've been seeing people delivering boiler room heat to the pond through hose.
Boiler room heat to a pond with a hose. So you have to be careful with that kind of setup. If a boiler room usually runs through copper, if it's running through copper, you cannot do that. You will kill your fish. You can potentially kill your fish. There are heating systems that don't use copper, and if that's the case, then you're fine. But if it what was that? PEX. Okay, Michael said yeah, PEX. So it's not really my area per se, but we have had heating systems in the past. Before we had our greenhouse in our old store, we actually had some heating systems, and we went through the same thing. The boiler system it cannot have any copper in the system because the copper can kill the fish.
What if they put the aerator in the boiler room?
What if they put the aerator in the boiler room? Um, so the question is, what if they put the aerator in the boiler room so that the air that they're putting in is going to be warmer air? It's an interesting question. I guess what you guys have to be really careful with all of this is, and this is what I was going to talk to you about with in regards to heating your pond, is the potential of something heating your pond and then something happens to that heating element and it stops working and then the temperature drops quickly. So we get this question all the time, and we do sell inline heaters. Is should you heat your pond in the winter? You certainly can heat your pond in the winter. We actually we heat our greenhouses. We use our heating systems to heat the entire greenhouse. What can happen though is if you don't have a redundant system in place, you could lose all your fish. So if you have, let's use the example of an inline heater, and that inline heater is keeping your pond at X temperature, 55, 60 degrees, and that heating system stops working in the middle of winter. If you don't have an alarm to let you know, hey, the heating system stopped working, and two, a redundant system backup, so that in case it goes out, you can replace it right away, you are going to lose every fish in that pond. The pond temperature is going to drop very rapidly, and that quick drop in temperature will kill all your fish. So you have to weigh the positives and negatives and whether you think it makes the most sense for you to do it. We have thousands of customers, and all of them are going through a natural freezing and thawing process with their ponds. They're going through the seasons and the ponds are just fine. If you do decide you want to keep your pond running and grow your fish out through the winter, you can certainly do that. But there's a lot of things you have to make sure in place in order to ensure that you can keep the fish healthy and not put them in harm's way. Question?
Leo Lopez
Hey, Leo.
asks, how long should we wait to close down the pond before the winter?
So Leo asked, how long should we wait to close down the pond in winter? Well, Leo, I'm not sure where you're from. We're in New York. We push it as far as we can. Hi, Mila. Sorry, my girl Mila just came in. Hi, hi, hi. This is Mila, everyone. Bodie is not in New York anymore. Bodie is now in Texas. Jameson and Bodie moved back. Well, I was in Colorado. So they moved back. Jameson is starting a new life back home in Texas, and so Bodie went along with them, so we won't be seeing them for a while. Where was I? I was talking about what now?
When you should winterize the pond.
Oh, so we were talking about when you should winterize the pond. Sorry about that. So you want to make sure that you're feeding the fish as long as possible. If the fish are eating, you need to continue feeding them. We start doing winterizations November 1st. We push the season out as far as possible. Yes, it does get pretty cold at that point, but we're trying not to close the pond too early, because the longer the fish are, the systems are shut down, the longer the fish are at risk. So we try and cut that down to a few months. We start opening ponds back up in March, usually around March 1st. So you got from November to March. And if you can push it out as far as possible, I would definitely advise you pushing it out. Any other questions? Got some more questions.
Spring asks, is there a danger zone for bacterial infections at the mid-range of heat?
There is a danger zone. It's what they call Aeromonas alley. Generally, it's not on the way down. It's usually on the way up that you have the most issues. Basically, your beneficial bacteria, your Nitrosomonas and Nitrobacter bacteria, doesn't really kick in until about 65 degrees. So in the spring, you want that's the bacteria that's going to remove the ammonia and nitrite from the pond. but the other bacteria and parasites actually, for that matter, will actually start to attack earlier in the season. So it is something that you have to be aware of. You can continue to use Koizyme. Michael, what's the temperature?
50.
You can continue to use Koizyme down to 50 degrees. Koizyme basically outweighs pathogenic bacteria, starving them out, and is a really good product to use throughout the season. So when the pond is going down to 50 degrees, and when you're at 50 degrees going into the season, and you're going to continue to use that product throughout the season. So definitely something that's going to help. Absolutely.
Troy asks, do you know if Easy Pro offers an extension for their bottom drain aeration bladder to bring it closer to the surface versus down at the bottom drain itself?
I am not aware of Easy Pro's aeration setup. I do sell some Easy Pro products. Are you talking about, so you're talking about an Easy Pro bottom drain that you would extend out to go higher? Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, to bring it up higher.
I think it's on a, it's on like what do you call those? The gray.
A nipple?
Right. You can get a nipple.
A very long one.
You can get a very long nipple. My guys are all laughing. I said nipple. So you could get a very long nipple that could raise the aeration up from the bottom. So, but you'd have to get into the ponds in order to access that. I find that doing that it's not worth the time. It's just easier to get a separate diffuser and separate air hose. Get yourself. I mean, this is our 3/8. Oh, I'm moving it over. This is our 3/8 weighted hose here. So use this weighted hose and get one of a diffuser. This is the 5-inch weighted. This is a 7-inch weighted, and this is our new Aquascape weighted. Basically, hang this over the side, and you're going to be fine. To go and have to get into the water to the bottom drain and then extend that up, and then in the springtime, you can see if you clean the pond, you could take that out. You could certainly, it's doable, but I don't think I would go that route.
Aben asks, do you recommend full deep cleanup of the pond during fall season? I have never done it since I don't want to start a new beneficial bacteria colonies.
We never really do cleanouts at this point. We will try and keep as many leaves out of the pond as possible, which actually is going to lead us to our next conversation, which is netting. But anything you can do to remove leaves from the pond always is not a bad thing. So throughout the season, hopefully you guys have skimmers. If you don't, consider getting a retro skimmer installed. If you're not able to do it, you just have to remove the leaves by hand, but you gotta get this stuff out of the pond because it's just gonna break down and cause all sorts of water quality issues. But that does segue us into the other part of our conversation, which is about netting. So we're going to head over here. We did actually just get Aquascape's netting in. I have it over here. I wasn't looking for anything. I was just gonna. So Aquascape's netting comes in a 28 by 30 and a 14 by 20 size, and I wanted to show you the netting that we have over here as well. So this is the netting that we pretty much switched to as our stock netting, and this netting here is our 1/2-inch heron netting, and you can't tear this stuff. I mean, this stuff is super strong, and you lay it across the pond. You can roll it up. It comes in either a 12-foot or 25-foot width, and then we use a stake like this. So what we'll do is lay the net over the pond, and then we roll it up. We always roll it underneath, and I'm going to hopefully, if we have a pond set up later in the season, we're going to break ground outside soon. maybe we'll put a net over the pond so we can show you. So you're going to roll the net up. These stakes come with a hook. See this? Comes with a hook. That hooks right on there, and you knock that into the ground. What you have to be aware of is be aware of where your sprinklers are, be aware of where your flex hose is if you have flex hose in the ground, because that will go right through. This netting is 48 cents a square foot. We do ship it out. If you're interested in netting, you're interested in getting the stakes, let me know. You can text me at 516-547-0164, or you can email me at sales@coinmarket.com. This netting, as I said, it comes in 12-foot and 25-foot widths by whatever size up to 100 feet. So let me know what size you need. I would advise measuring. We also, for the regular season, we also have a 1-inch, which is great for just regular season. It won't obscure your view of the fish as much as obviously a 1/2 inch, but it'll still keep predators out of the ponds. Question? What? Oh, okay. So any other questions regarding, and we're going to have this conversation a couple of times over the next couple of weeks about preparing for the fall and winter months. And we're going to talk more about actually winterizing your pond, what you need to do to winterize your ponds. We will go over that stuff. It's still a bit early for that conversation, but we will, I promise, we will have that conversation. I did have a customer contact us and asking if we can discuss bead filters a little bit. So we're going to go back over here. This is our filtration section here. So there's a lot of different types of mechanical and biological filtration. Mechanical filtration is a removal of solids, leaves, debris. Biological filtration is where the nitrification process takes place. Question?
What's the ideal temperature for growing fish?
For growing fish, you're going to be in the 70s. Yeah. So mechanical, biological filtration. Biological filtration is where the nitrification process takes place. That's going to remove the ammonia and nitrite from your ponds. Okay, so we have lots of different types of filtration. There's plenty of different things you can use, and they all have their positives and their negatives. So your standard installation for a koi pond is you're going to have a skimmer, which is your mechanical filtration, and a waterfall box is your biological and mechanical filtration. It's going to do both. You also have a pressurized setup. And in a pressurized setup, everything is a bit more condensed. Water goes in, water goes out. In a proper pressurized setup, you also have a system that has a really good backwash system. Okay, so a way to easily clean your filter pads or whatever is in your pressurized system. If you don't have that, then these things are absolutely useless. This by far, and guys, I've tested every pressurized filter on the market. You know, and don't forget, we do maintenance for a couple hundred customers. So we've seen everything. We know which ones work and which ones don't. The green reset filters 100% are the best ones on the market. Question?
Karen is asking.
Hi, Karen.
Good morning. Don't you have to raise the netting up about a foot or a foot and a half at least? That's what I do, so the heron doesn't poke through the net at ground level. So
Karen, it all depends on a couple of factors. You can certainly raise it up. On the 1/2 inch netting, could the heron still reach? If your water is right there, then you're going to want to raise it up a little bit. Not everyone has that luxury, but you know what? Generally, everyone's got stones around their pond that's going to raise that net up anywhere from from 6 inches to 12 inches. The net is usually not at ground level. There's stone around the pond that's going to raise that pond up. The nice thing about this particular netting is when you tighten that netting and you use those stakes, we do stakes every 2 feet. When you tighten that netting up, it does not dip. It's very different than a lot of the other nets that are out there that will dip over time. And the reason why we like to use a 1/2 inch versus the smaller hole is because if it does snow, a lot of that is going to end up going through the holes. On the smaller nets, on the smaller hold net, the snow is going to collect much easier, which could then bring the net down. So hope that answers your question. So we're talking about filtration. So you have lots of different types. We talked about the waterfall boxes and skimmers. We talked about pressurized. These are the filters that we use. There are other companies out there that make other filters. These are the ones that we use here. And we have bead filtration. This one's missing the top because someone needed a top, so we replaced the top. But let's talk about a bead filter. I'll pull this one out. So, Michael, if you want to come over here for a second. Okay. All right. So let's talk about bead filtration and how it works. And no, because I didn't want, because it was missing the bulkhead, and I didn't want to do that. So no. So what's happening in a bead filter? So contrary to what a lot of people believe, because I get this all the time. Do I look really short? I look like a midget. Oh, am I allowed to not say that word? A little person? Okay. Anyway, I apologize to anyone that's if I used the wrong terminology. We get this question a lot. Oh, you know, can I just use? It's just a pool filter. Well, it's not just a pool filter. So it works very differently. So is the body like a pool filter body? Yes. The company that makes this body is the same company that makes bodies for pool filters. But there's a huge difference, okay? And this is what you guys need to understand. Okay, the media, the bead media that goes into a filter floats. So a pool filter is designed for downflow filtration. A bead filter is designed for upflow, so it goes up. So everything is opposite, number one. So although this multiport looks just like a multiport that you would see at on a pool, it's designed differently so that it's designed for upflow, not downflow. So it's not sending the water down. So in a pool filter, you have sand that's very heavy and it sits at the bottom. Okay, and that water's got to push down to the bottom. This is different. So everything is opposite. So the water is actually coming into the bottom of the filter and it's coming up because the media is floating at the top here instead of at the bottom. Okay, so the water is coming into the bottom area, going through, and we actually have, this is our own custom design. I'll show you. This is a bead filter that's made for koi market. We use a slotted pipe design. Okay, everything is unionized, so in case you have to get it off, you can easily take it off. So unionized, so the union connects right to the bulkhead on the inside. Everything is slotted. These are specially designed pipes, slotted pipes that are the right size for the media. And that's really important because if it's not the right size, you're going to end up having media go through the hole and back into the pond. Okay, if you want to take a look inside. Okay, so water is going into the bottom, coming up to the top. You have a sludge drain on the bottom, which allows you to, when you're winterizing it, for water to drain out. In addition, we have a blower system, and I'm going to tell you right now, there's a bunch of systems out there. Ultima is one of them, the biggest piece of crap on the market. I'm sorry if you guys have an Ultima system, and you may think that it works, but it does not work even close to the way a system like this works. And one of the main reasons is having a blower, and you can add a retro blower to an Ultima to make it work properly, but the blower only gets used in the backwash cycle. Okay, so the pump is off, you take this blower, you turn it on, it blows air into the system during rinse mode and breaks apart everything. So all the media, you'll see it actually stirring like it's in a jacuzzi. These are actually from the jacuzzi market. blows air into the system and breaks everything apart in the filter so that when you go and do a proper backwash, it will flush everything out. On a system like the Ultima, what happens is you get bead pack. In any bead filter system, you get what's called bead pack, which means the beads that are inside get packed down with food, with poop, with anything that managed to get in there. It's going to break down, turn into like like a solid, and it just packs it down. And what happens with the Ultima system is you think that when you do a backwash, you see a bunch of dirty water come out, but it's really just channeling. It's getting from point A to point B, and it's not getting the whole thing. If you don't have a blower to break everything apart, you'll never ever get that apart unless you have a pump that is so large, because an Ultima system works on a jet design. So it's designed to use the water from the pump, and if you don't have a big pump on there, you're never going to break that apart. And the Ultima tube gets a lot of muck stuck inside of it. Personally, I don't like them. I'm sorry for you guys that do have them. I mean, I'm not a big fan. Anyway, so going back to this system, without having a blower, you cannot properly do a backwash. This blower will blow through. It is a 2 horsepower blower. Will blow through the system, break everything up so that when you do your waste, and this is what we call a sight glass. This is actually from the swimming pool industry. This is a sight glass, and this sight glass, and every multi-port has one of these little tiny little round circle here where you can see dirty water, but it's very hard to tell from this whether the water is clean. When you see the water flow through here, you know whether it's clean or not. Okay, so as soon as the water turns clear, you don't see any solids going through this, you're done. You go from backwash back into rinse. You turn the pump back on, you run it for another 30 seconds just to clear out the laterals that are inside the system. Shut the pump off, go into filter mode, and you're done. Depending on how dirty the filter is, you may run it more than once. But you're looking at a 5-minute cleaning cycle. It's fairly simple. I mean, you've done it before, right? Mm-hmm. Yeah, it doesn't take very long. The system just works phenomenal. Remember, guys, we've talked about this a couple of times. The job of a filter system, and this is any filter system, the job of a filter system is to filter it out, which means capture it. So you're basically taking something from point A and bringing it to point B, which is the filter, and it's holding on to it. Hold that question for 1 second, Michael. So it's going from point A to point B. But point B is still in the water table, okay? You're just taking it from one destination and bringing it to another, okay? The goal is to get it out of the ponds, okay? So you do have to, the job of a bead filter is to capture as much as possible, but it's still here. So you then have to make sure you get it out of the ponds, okay? Which means doing a backwash once a week. But a backwash once a week, it's 5 minutes a week. It's pretty simple. You know, we're probably one of the largest bead filter installers in the country. We have hundreds of bead filters in the fields, and they just work. They work phenomenal, which is why I still do them. You know, I have them on my own systems here at the store. You guys have seen our water quality. You know, it just works. So you got a question, Mike?
Keith is asking, what are your opinions around some of the other brands and how they are different from your custom system? Brands such as Aquadyne, Evolution Aqua, etc.
I'd rather keep the rest of my opinions to myself. I will comment on Ultima because I think it's an absolute crap product. And I know that there are a lot out there and you may have one, but I just know that comparing the way a system like this works to the Ultima. What I will point out, I cannot stand having a stemmed multiport on the top of the system. Okay? They work terrible. They just don't function properly. They take up space in the filter versus having an external multiport like this. I'm not a big fan of having a center multi-port on a bead filter.
Sinon asks, any experience with the Vicron Aquatics products?
So,
Vircon.
are you the gentleman that had asked? So we just launched our bacterial control koi food the other day, if you guys didn't notice, and someone had asked me about Vircon Aquatic. We have not used Vircon Aquatic here. I know it's sold in the UK. Maybe it's made its way here. I know that Vircon as a product can be very dangerous. You definitely are supposed to wear gloves, and you have to be very careful in its use. It's actually very toxic for the body. We have posed the question with Vircon Aquatic to a bunch of customers, to companies in the past, and we were told, just not to use it, so we didn't. I can't really comment as to what that product does. The effects it can have on your system. Any comments on that, Michael?
Heath asks.
No. Do you have any personal comments on the Vircon Aquatic?
No. Heath asks, to follow up on the question that you wouldn't answer, how is your system different then?
So my system is actually completely different than the Ultima system, because the Ultima system works by a jet in order to break up the debris in a filter during a backwash cycle. And the media is also an elongated, it's not a bead, it's like an elongated stick, and the debris gets caught inside of it, which will end up breaking down, going anaerobic, and harboring bad bacteria. In this system, it doesn't do that because it relies on the blower to break up the debris in the system. There are other filters that do use the blower, and like I said, you can definitely make an Ultima system work better by adding a retro blower to that system, and it'll change the way the system works.
Karen is asking, do you have to shut that whole system off during the winter? Right now I have an aquascape system and I keep my waterfall and skimmer running all winter long. All climate has definitely changed here on Long Island. We are now 7A versus 6B.
So the question is, do you have to shut your pond down in the winter? Karen has an aquascape setup. You do not have to shut it down. Absolutely not. And a lot of customers that have aquascape systems, I would say a lot, there are customers that have aquascape systems that do leave them running all winter long. You can certainly do that. I mean, this kind of goes back to what I was talking about before, is do you have a generator? If you don't have a generator and you lost power in the middle of winter and that water is running through the system, any water that's in those pipes is going to freeze and crack, and you'll end up having to replace the entire line. And potentially other parts, either the skimmer or the waterfall box, could also get damaged. Hold that thought, Michael. I just have another question. Can you leave it running? Absolutely. Our winters are not as harsh as they used to be, so you can definitely leave it running. There are things that you have to be cautious of. Supercooling the entire ponds. You're taking the water from the ponds, putting it up on top where the waterfall is, exposing it to the cold air, which then exposes it to, which then allows the pond to get supercooled. And if that's the case, am I saying that you'll definitely kill your fish? No. Could it put the fish in harm's way? Absolutely. What else? If you don't maintain the pond during the winter, so let's say you get a lot of leaves and debris in the pond, it gets into your filter pads, and that water slows down to the point where it's barely trickling through the system because your skimmer net is bogged down, your filter pad in your skimmer is bogged down, or the filter pads in your waterfall box are bogged down, and that water flow slows down, you could run into some other issues, like, again, potentially having your pipes freeze because the water's not going fast enough. Mike, you had a comment?
You get freeze, and you get 2-3 inches of ice on top of the pond. That's 2-3 inches of water that you just lost out of the skimmer. So you could
Okay, go over to Mike there. You want to be on camera? Guys, this is Mike Verone, the famous Mike Verone.
Hello, how's everybody? I've been doing aquascape systems for over 20 years. In my own pond, I used to leave it running in the winter. It did cause a few problems when you get 2-3 inches of ice. What happens is you lose 2-3 inches of water right out of your skimmer, so you could wind up sucking air into your pump and burning out your pump. And I know it's also very hard to keep a hose available in the winter so you can fill up your pond. So you have to think of that. You have to keep a hose in the house where it's not going to be frozen, and you're going to have to keep your water on outside or turn it on and off as you need it. But you will definitely still get evaporation, and you will definitely lose water from splash. You will also lose the water from the freezing. The thickness of that water on top is that froze is what's going to come out of your pond. So just keep that in mind. Like Sean said, you can keep it running. It's a few other factors that you got to take into consideration of how much time and effort you want to put into it. If you go away, so my suggestion is to shut it down and get that aerator in there and just enjoy it that way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
I have.
Mike, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about in regards to fall and winter prep?
No, I was listening. You did everything was fine for one of those things, one of those times. So.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
3 questions.
3 questions. Go ahead.
Let's rapid fire.
Yep.
Scott Janko asks,
Hey, Scott.
Do you use actual solid beads or do you use K1 in your filter?
No, I don't use K1. I actually use a mix. It's a proprietary mix of a bead and a product called Alpha Nano, which is next time we do the show, I'll show you samples of both. But I do a mix of both of those, so I get the best of both worlds, which is both mechanical on the bead and more surface area for the beneficial bacteria, your nitrosammosis and nitrobacter bacteria.
Ready?
Next question.
Charles is asking,
Hi, Charles.
What would
is that
you-
Charles? Is that Charles Leo?
no,
I have
Charles
to call him.
Arrigo.
Hi, Charles.
What would you need to add a blower to an Ultima system?
Okay, so good question. You can send me an email at sales@coinmarket.com, and I can get you a retro kit. It's a specific kit that's made for the Ultima systems that will make that system work the way it needs to work.
JP Fam is asking,
Hey, GP.
is there a filter pad needed to be cleaned?
Is in a bead filter?
Gonna assume so.
So if you have a skimmer or a waterfall box, then you would have a filter pad that would need to be cleaned. If you have a pressurized system like this actually has, and I'm going to grab a filter pad for you. In the green reset filters, this is the filter pad that's in the smaller systems here. See that? And this is the filter pad that's in the 2 larger systems here. Okay, so the column of the system goes down the center, and the cool thing about this filter is you lift up this handle, you turn the knobs like so, and then when you push this down like this, see I'm pushing this down, I'm squeezing it down, it's squishing this filter pad. This filter pad is getting condensed, and it's like you're squeezing out a mop when I push this down. So the dirty water is going to be coming out. You're going to switch this handle. Then we flip the handle to clean, and that's how you would maintain this system. Works really well. You do not have any kind of filter pads in a system like this, nor would I ever recommend having any kind of filter pads in a system like this. It just wouldn't make sense.
Dan is asking,
Hi, Dan.
how often do you replace the media in that filter?
You do not. there is no need to replace the media. It's plastic, it will last longer than us.
Karen is asking, thank you, I have aeration in there. That I keep going in the winter. I do raise it up midway so cold air isn't going to the bottom and coming up into the pond. Is that correct?
Yes.
I don't go away during the winter, so I'm constantly keeping an eye on my filtration. Last February, because it didn't get warm, I ended up cleaning up my filter pads for the aquascape system and adding water.
So Karen, you brought up exactly what we're talking about. If you have the means to take care of your pond in the wintertime, then I would say go for it. I mean, you need to be around to make sure that the system is running at proper flow. You need to make sure that you can clean the filter pads that are in your skimmer and in your waterfall box. You need to make sure that you have access to water, because most people shut their water down for the winter. So getting access to water where you'd have to in an emergency, or because the water can warm up. We've had some bouts of warm weather in the middle of winter where the fish are suddenly active again. And now they're going and they're eating algae around the pond. They're creating waste that can't be processed, okay, because your nitrosomonas and nitrobacter bacteria are laying dormant or have died off. So now they're literally, it's a toilet bowl. For all intents and purposes, your pond is a toilet bowl, okay? And if the waste can't be processed, they're swimming in their own waste, okay? So you need to be able to do a water change. So if you guys have access to water in the winter and you can do a water change, it's not a bad idea to do water changes in the wintertime. Obviously, you have to be aware of water temperature changes and fluctuations, which can stress the fish out or potentially kill the fish if it was a big problem. You're not going to, in the wintertime, run cold water out of the tap that's going to be colder than the water in the pond. So, but all good questions and comments. All right. Guys, if you don't have any more questions regarding everything we discussed, we will have a lot more sessions where we can discuss everything to do with fall. Another question.
Michael Adrian is asking, only problem is you need to pump out water during the winter to do a water change. Any suggested pump that you sell?
We do. We do actually. We have a. Where's that fish from? Next one? Yeah. Can you grab one?
Your audio is not. I don't think you're speaking loud enough.
It's the used one.
Huh?
The used one. I don't have a new one.
Oh, we don't have a new one.
No.
We do have access to what we call a trash pump, and that has what is it, 1.25 inch hose?
Inch and a quarter.
Or 1.5 inch?
Inch and a half per foot. It is 4,400 gallons an hour.
And put 44 hose?
52 hose.
52.
Yeah.
So we do actually, we will be bringing it in, guys, if we need it.
Put it up here, because they can't hear you.
Guys can't hear me. Maybe it's going better or something?
No, it's not talking loud enough.
I'm not talking loud enough. Still nothing? Guys can't hear me? Hello. Something's going on with this one. So we're going to switch it out and go to another one. Everyone, Chris Hayes and Colin are here. Hey, Colin. Trying to figure out what's going on with the sound here. I'm going to use, I'll try Michael's.
What's going on? Doesn't work.
Can you guys hear me now? Can you hear me now? Can you hear me now?
I think it's just you, man.
Can you hear me now? Hello? Hello? Hello?
It's not working.
Hello?
It's not working.
Hello?
Not working.
All right, sound is not working.
Is this on?
Can't hear it. Can you hear anyone, or just not working?
Oh. I thought you...
All right, we're gonna try and figure out the sound. So,
Hello? It's a little off, but I don't know.
Okay, can you hear me somewhat? Kind of. What would cause that?
Don't know.
You want to try the other mics?
Working okay now. I don't have another mic.
We got rid of the other
I
one?
don't know where it is.
Yeah. All right.
I have a question.
Yes. Did I answer Michael Adrian's question? I don't remember what it was. Oh, the trash pump. Right. We'll probably. Are we getting any of those in? Yeah. We're getting a few in. Let me know again if you guys need. It comes with a 50-foot hose, right? Hose is separate.
Yeah, it's a like a pool hose.
Okay.
That rigid material.
Okay. So it's a rigid pool style hose that attaches to the pump. We'll have to get you pricing maybe next show. We'll talk about it.
A couple more questions rapid fire.
I did want to mention one thing I forgot to mention about netting. So we're starting to put nets on the ponds this week. So this Wednesday we're actually starting. We have about 50 or 75 nets that we're going to get installed early. And the reason why, guys, we do this early is that we can prevent all the leaves that are going to start falling from getting into the ponds, because all those leaves are going to break down in the pond. If you guys can put your net on early, get it on early. The leaves haven't started falling. They haven't even actually started changing color here yet. But we're gonna get our nets started on Wednesday. If you need netting, you guys know how to reach me, but it's 516-547-0164 is my cell. You can email me at sales@coinmarket.com, or you could text me, whatever. I'm here for you.
Karen asks, can you just use a sump pump to pump out the water in the winter
Absolutely.
as well?
Any way you can get the water out, use it. In the middle of winter, if you have to do a water change, you want to get something that's going to move a lot of water quickly. You don't want to be taking a long time. The trash pump that we're talking about does 4,400 gallons an hour. And there's not a lot of resistance here, guys. I mean, the hose is going horizontal. Anything, if the pond is sitting at the bottom, anything from the bottom of the pond to the top of the water is all neutral. So you're still going to get a pretty good flow of water out of that pump. Any other questions?
Scott Jenko is asking, I see that you have Evo. Do you also sell the Tempest?
No. So I do carry the Evo UVs. We carry them because they were a very good middle of the road UV light. Our higher end UVs are the Metalla UVs and the Zap Pure UVs. The Evos the price on the Evos is literally, it's more than double in the last 2 years what it was 2 years ago. And the price has definitely jumped quite a bit. I think the price on the 25 watt is, I think, where the Evo 55 was 2 years ago. So the prices have changed drastically. It's a decent system. Scott's question was, do we sell the Tempest? And the Tempest is it's an added bio chamber that gets connected, I think, after your filter. I think you have to send clean water to it, I believe. Michael, do you know too much about it? Yeah. I don't see how would it be a polisher? It's using a cell media like K1. Yeah. It's not really it's really just more surface area, which is it's never a bad thing to have more surface area. I don't know how much flow goes through it. I think it's
Yeah, Scott Jenko also says they sell it as a polisher.
yeah. I don't know how. I mean, I guess it'll always pull out something. So, okay. Yeah. I can't really comment. So, any other questions before we jump over to fish?
Michael Adrian says it's restrictive on flow.
It is that's what I heard. It's very restrictive on flow. I think it goes down to maybe 1.5 inches, 1.25 inches. So if you're going out with 2 inch and you got to drop it down to go into that system and then come out, it will restrict your flow. But it is more surface area, so it definitely can't hurt if you need that extra bio. All right. So we're going to head on over to the small koi. Mike, thank you for jumping in. You guys haven't seen our goldfish. See some of our cool pearl scales. Hi guys, they're so cute. See them? Also some more pearl scales over here. You see the wide bodies. Some more pearl scales here, and then we have some cool red caps over here. And some bubble eyes. We do have some high fin sharks left. So these guys get up to 2.5 feet. And a friend of mine sent me a video recently of his high fin shark, which is in the loach family. And it was huge. It was absolutely huge, but they can get up to 2.5 feet. And the reason why they call it a high fin shark is because this large fin, the dorsal fin, will actually stick up out of the water and it looks like a shark. So that's why they call it a high fin shark. Very cool. Those guys are selling for $70 each. You do need to get them in a minimum of pairs because they're a schooling fish. You guys can hear me okay? They are a schooling fish and you don't want to, and they, I guess they get lonely and they stress out if they're by themselves. They will get along with the koi, but you really want to make sure you have more than one. So, Gabe, you want to take a look at the tanks? I'm going to go set up down there and get us prepared, and I'm going to figure out what fish we're going to sell today. Guys, we have a 50% off sale going on. There's only one tank in here that's not 50% off. Okay? Maybe we will, maybe we won't show that, but all the fish that we're going to show today are 50% off of what their normal price is. So let's get moving. We can close this. It's a little cold in here. So he's just going to walk around and show you some fish. The extra bowl is over here. We're going to decide which fish we're going to be using in a minute. We'll be showing you in a second. How many people are on, Gabe? 52 people. Okay, wow. All right. So, is there anything you would like to see first? I guess we'll start with this tank. Okay. Fucker. Really need to start preparing this stuff beforehand, or we're not doing this during the show. Sorry guys, I'm just filling tanks. I don't know why I'm doing this now. It should have been done before, but it wasn't, so. Let's see, what are we gonna grab? So I have some $300 fish we're gonna do, which means they're gonna be $150 today. These guys have some good size on them. We're going to start with these guys. Some of these guys have some pretty good size on them. I'm going to put these in and I'll get some more. You want to put these in the bowl, Michael? Yeah, you can. Yeah, let's start with something. That way, everyone's not sitting there looking at nothing. Okay. Right now we're running it through September. I haven't decided how much longer we're going to be running it. One more scoop, guys, and we'll get this party started. Okay. So these guys are varying sizes.
What are the size of these?
So these guys are on a smaller scale, these guys are 9 to 10 inch, and then the larger size here, again this Goshiki right here, this guy is almost 12 inches. So take a look at it, guys. These guys are going for $150 each today. They were $300. They're going for $150 today. Let me know if there's anything you see that's interesting in here. This guy I'm going to take out. I'll put that guy back. There's very nice Ginra no Chiba, Tancho Showa, and the Showa. So you got Ginra no Chiba, Tancho Showa, and a Showa. These guys are going for $150 each. Do we have any takers?
And then Andy also wants that big Goshiki that I guess you showed.
Okay. These guys are going for $150 each. Any takers? I can name them 1, 2, and 3, or we have a Ginran Ochiba, Ginran Tancho Showa, and a Showa. Just tell me which one you're interested in. These guys are going for $150 each. Any takers? Or what do we got here? We got $150 each, $350. That's $500 for all three. I'll go $450 if you take all three of them. Is that right? $150, $300.
No,
No, it's $450. Sorry, it's $450 for all three right now. So I'll go $400 for all three.
Christine says she wants the Ginran, but there's two of them. Which one?
There's two Ginran, Christine.
Middle fish, the Tancho.
The middle Tancho is yours. I will make a 3-fish deal on any 3 fish in here if you want to do a deal for 3 fish. And if you buy 1 fish now and you buy 2 more afterwards, I will still do that same deal. Okay?
Alright, so Andy then wants the big Goshiki.
Andy wants the Goshiki. It's $150. This is all going to darken up in here. It's yours, Andy. All right. Just being clear that this is the one you picked. Okay, next. Yes, sir.
Says sorry, I pass on that Goshiki.
Okay. Can you put the net back on there? Okay. Would anyone else be interested in this Goshiki? Here, we'll put some fish on there. We got.
Oh, I think Kevin Trump wants it.
Okay.
He's just said yes.
Okay. Kevin, it's yours. You got the picture? Done? Thank you, Kevin.
Kevin had said also 12-inch white and orange. Maybe he's talking about a Tancho, or if he's talking about
12-inch white and orange. All right, so if got the orange on the head would be a Tancho. So the biggest one here would be this one right here. This one you're talking about? Let me know. Kevin, let me know if this is the one you were looking at. All right, get back to me, Kevin. All right.
He said no.
No, okay. White and orange. You got to be a little more specific because we have 4 fish that are white and orange in here. Actually, 5. So I'm gonna grab some fish, and if you guys see one you like, let me know. Okay, I got 3 fish in here right now. Oh, no, 4. What are we taking out of here? Okay, I got 3 fish in here. We have the Ginreno Chiba. Okay, very nice fish. We have a Beni Kikakiryu, and we have a Tancho Kohaku. Any takers?
Oh, that's it. Okay.
Any takers on either of these? I can name them 1, 2, or 3 if that's easier. I'll name them. Number 1 is the Beni Kiko. Number 2 is the Ochiba. Number 3 is the Kohaku. Number 1, number 2, and number 3. Do any takers on 1, 2, or 3? Number 1 is the Beni Kiko. Number 2 is the Ochiba. Number 3 is the Kohaku. 1, 2, or 3. Let me know, guys. All 3 of these are $450. I will go $400 if you take all 3. And I'll do that deal for anything in the bowl. So if you want 3 fish, I'll do them for $400. It's a great time to be buying fish. Water is still warm enough, it's still 70. $50% off is a huge deal. We are making room for new fish coming in. Michael, Travis, and I are going to Japan in December. If you guys are looking for fish, we'll definitely talk and we can pick some fish out for you while we're there. All right, we're gonna move on. Guys, take a look in the bowl. Let me know if there's anything else in here you're interested in. There are some nice fish in here. Let me know if there's anything else you're interested in. If not, that's fine. We'll move on.
Christine asks, will you have a show when in Japan?
What?
Christine asks, will you have a show when you're in Japan?
Yeah, so really good question. We are going to be doing a couple of things. One of them is we're going to be reaching out to everyone using WhatsApp. It's an app you can download for iPhone or Android, and it enables us to reach out to you with anything that we're going to be selling. Whether we do a live show it's a 13-hour difference. So doing a live show, we'll have to figure out a time that works for everyone. It's something that we're talking about. Michael actually just put a couple more fish in here. These guys are the same price. There's a very large Tancho Goshiki here. Large Tancho Goshiki. We had a nice size Sanke. This guy's easily a foot. This guy's around 11 inch. Do I want to know?
Sure.
Here's a nice kohaku. We'll put all 3 of these in here. Guys, this whole net, all 3 of these going for $400.
Aaron Stanton says, late to the show today. Just wanted to say that I had the privilege to go to the shop and meet Michael and his brother, and they are taller in person. Lovely place.
That's funny. Hi, Aaron.
He just got his fish today, too.
Oh, cool.
And he says he met you and James, and that he liked being there.
Yeah, it was good to meet you too. All right, these guys are going for $150 each. You take all 3 of them. I'll do this all 3 for $400. It's a large kohaku, a tancho goshiki, and a sanke. These guys are roughly 11 to 12 inches each. All 3 of these, normally this is $900 we would have had these for. These were going for $300 each. These are going for $150 each, $400 for all 3. Any takers? No? All right, I will move on. Guys, we have very nice Ginrin Tancho. Check out that Ginrin Tancho. Gorgeous fish. Check that out. Going for 150. Any takers?
Joe Ruiz will take that one.
Okay. Joe, it's yours. Good? All right. Take a look at this bowl, guys. Anything else here? We do have another Ginrin Tancho. I'm going to put this Ginrin Ochiba back in here because I just think it should go home with someone today. Definitely a very nice fish. And here's a Ginrin Tancho. I could throw one more fish on here. There's a Ginrin Tancho Showa. And this one, guys, Sumi is coming up on this fish. I can see all black coming up on this. Black's coming up here, all in here, all in here. And so it's a Ginrin Tancho Showa. Then you have a Tancho Kohaku, and a Ginrin Tancho Kohaku, and a Ginrin Ochiba. Any takers on either of these? All 3 of them for 400. It's an amazing, amazing deal. Any takers, guys? What time is it? 12:30. How many people are on?
51.
51 on. Good morning to everyone. Any takers? Remember, guys, you got to look at the potential where the fish is going. I can definitely see Sumi coming up on this Tancho Showa, Ginrin Showa right here. No? All right. We're going to move on then. That's it? All right, guys, take a look at this bowl. If there's anything else in here, great. If not, I'm going to put these guys back, and we're going to pick some other stuff. Grab the net. All right. Thank you guys who made those picks. We're going to pick our next batch of fish. What are we picking next, guys? All right, I know where we're going. Just picking a couple more fish here. You want to put these in, Michael? Grab some fish from Maro Hero. These guys were going for $200 today. They're at $100. All right, so you have in here, you have Asagi, you have Ginrin Asagi. We have a Ginrin Yamabuki and a Yamabuki, all from Maro Hero. And we also have Shusui in here. And Hiyutsuri. Everything from Maro Hero. Any comments? These guys are $100 each. $275 for 3. Okay, Yamabuki, Shusui, Hiyutsuri.
What's the size of the orange and black one?
The orange and black one, this one's a roughly 9 inches. Yeah, nice Hiyutsuri.
Repeat the size?
These guys, these two are around 9 inches. This one's 8.5.
And then Tim Happy is asking, can you see the dark Asagi?
Yes. Let me just go through these first, these 3. Any takers on either of these 3 or the whole thing? $275 for all 3 or $100 each. Remember, there is free shipping when you spend $650 or more on Southwest Cargo. It is good to be back. Very happy to be back. It was a long 2 weeks.
What would be the shipping on these
Michael, any thoughts?
free shipping on Southwest?
Well, we have free shipping if you spend $650 or more. If you're buying a single fish or less than $650 worth, I mean, it's on a case by case. I would need to really know how many fish you're taking, which would determine the size of the box. All right, I'm gonna move on from these guys, but you know what? They're still in the bowl, so don't fret. They're still here. Here's the darker Asagi. You guys, if you don't know, the Asagi is the first mutation ever seen.
We'll take those three.
Okay, those three. So there was this one, and it was this one, and it was a Shusui. Was it this one?
Or that one.
Definitely wasn't that one. I don't think it was this one.
Yeah. I know. That was that one.
I believe it was these three. Let me know if that's correct. If you are the new customer, if you're a new customer, you must text me right now your full name, your address, your email address. Okay, you need to text 516-547-0164 right now so that we have your information, please. 516-547-0164. Send me a text with all your information, full name, home address, email address, cell phone number. Okay? I'll have the cell phone number when you text me, so. All right, can you just verify that these are the three, please?
I said yes.
Okay. You got pictures? You're good? All right, moving on. So we have a Ginrin Yamabuki here. We have another very nice Hiyutsuri, and we have the darker Asagi. Now again, guys, the Asagi was the first of the mutated koi. They weren't called koi back then. They were just carp. And they named them Nishikigoi, which are Japanese colored carp. And the Asagi was the first of the mutated carp that they saw in a rice field, and it was the first of all Nishikigoi. These guys are $150, right? Sorry, $100 each, $275 for all three. This is very rare. This is a Ginrin Yamabuki, something you will not find very often. Very nice Hiyutsuri, all from Maruhiro, and an Asagi. It's got your typical red cheekbones, red pectorals, red on the tail. Any takers in either one or all three? Please make sure you send me a text. If you are a new customer, you need to text me full name, address, email address. 516-547-0164. You do get free shipping. Guys, remember, free shipping when you spend $650 or more on Southwest Cargo. You do not get free shipping on anything else other than Southwest Cargo. Door-to-door shipping, you do have to pay for it. Any takers on either of these three or all three of them? All right. Also rare, unique. Here is an Ginrin Asagi. Also, you got the motor grew, the pectorals, the symmetrical coloration in the pectoral fins. Another nice Shusui here. Any takers on anything in here? If not, all good, we'll just move on. All right. All right, we're going to move on unless there's something else in here. Should we go to the Shiro and Platinums? What do you think? No? I'm still in that tank, so I can do the fish that aren't on sale. Guys, we do have one tank of fish, one cage of fish in this tank that is not on sale, but since we have the bowl set up from that tank, it does make it easier. So I will show those. They are not on sale though. Let me grab the net. How are you?
You're back.
What's going on?
Good.
Thank you.
I bought a fish. Well, I only live 10 minutes away.
Good to see you, buddy.
How's everything?
Good, good, good.
Boy, oh boy.
All right, so guys, we're going to pick a couple more fish. These fish are not on sale, but we're in the same tank, so I will show them. Give me a couple of seconds and we'll have them up and ready for you. Hi. Yeah, it's called a Kikikiryu. Oops, sorry about that. Can you put these fish in there? Sorry.
out together.
Sorry. Morning, guys. All right, so these are the only fish in this whole koi house that are not on sale. These are from Aoki. They're jumbo tosai. These guys are going for $400 each. Some absolutely gorgeous fish in here. Check out this karasu, guys. Deutz karasu. Red belly. Wow. Gorgeous fish. Lemon harawaki. Super white. Shiroji is super white. Here is a Sakura kohaku. See that? Check out the scalation on that. Look at this. Look at this Beni Kiko. And here's a regular Kikakiryu. Some Kuro Goshiki, dark Goshiki. These guys are going for $400 each. Let me know if there's something in this bowl you want to see. Look at this Kikiko. Check that out, guys. Wow, look at the scalation down the spine of this fish. Imagine this fish big swimming around in your ponds. This fish is going to be amazing. Take a look at these guys. I know they're not on sale. These guys are new arrivals. We don't have sales on new arrivals. But since we were in the same tank as the other fish, shares the same bowl, so I wanted to show them. I know that you've seen some of these fish before. Anything you guys want to see up close? This is Deutsch Sanke. Nothing? No comments?
Dustin said that they're badass.
Thank you, thank you.
Edward Blumenreiter said picked up some last week.
Yes.
They don't disappoint.
Yes, he was here and they picked up a bunch of these. I think they picked up 4 or 5. These fish are just, they're stunning. They're definitely an amazing addition to any pond. Ed and his wife made those awesome cookies for us. Thank you very much again, guys.
Zach said, when can I buy them?
Huh?
Zach said, when can I buy them?
Can you buy these fish? These fish are available now. These fish are available right this second. You can buy them right now. So new arrivals, guys, when we do a new arrival, they still have to go through a quarantine process. These guys are through the quarantine process, and they came in, it's probably about 2 months. Yeah, about 2 months. So they were in QT for 30 days, went through all the treatments, and then they were put up for sale. Is there a particular fish you want to see up close here, guys? These guys are going for $400 each. We have free shipping when you spend $650 or more. You don't see fish like this very often. These guys are... Hey, Zach.
Black and white.
The black and white. So I have a couple. You're talking about this one, Zach? This is a Kikakiryu. Super, super white. Is that the one, Zach?
Black and red.
Black and red.
And then Crystal asks, can you flip the all black one again, please?
Yes, absolutely. So here are the two Goshiki. Oh, actually, I have three Goshiki in here. I'll do these two first. Zach, was it one of these two? Both very nice Goshiki. Here's Goshiki 1. And here's number 2. Number 1 and number 2. Number 1. Got a little black on the nose, and number 2.
He said yes, those are the ones.
Okay, number 1 has some black on the nose. And here's number 2. Which one? Number 1 or number 2? There's number 1 and number 2.
Number 2.
Okay, number 2 is yours, Zach. Good? Okay, the Karasu. Absolutely gorgeous. This is jet black. Okay, this is Deutz. So jet black. Red belly. Very cool when he comes up to feed. You're going to see that red belly. It's got orange eyes too. Cool fish. Here. Check out that net of fish right here. This Sakura is really cool here. You see the scalation? It's different than a regular kohaku. It's Sakura, I guess Sakura kohaku. Then you have a Kikakiryu. Perfect scalation down the spine, absolutely gorgeous. And here you have the Deutz Karasu. Any takers are on either of these three. Amazing fish. No? All right. If I don't have any takers on anything else in here, we're gonna move on. I want to give you guys an opportunity to grab one or more of these guys. All right, we're gonna put them back then. Anyone else before I grab them? Who is looking at the Karasu? Crystal, did you have any comments on the Karasu?
Zach says, give me that other one too.
Okay.
Is he talking about the Goshiki or the...
You're talking about the Goshiki, right, Zach? Both Goshiki?
He said yeah.
Okay, it's yours. You're good?
Yeah.
Crystal,
says no, wanted to show my boyfriend in case he
Gotcha, gotcha, gotcha. All right, guys, if nothing else here, I'm going to put these guys back. Thank you, thank you. Zach, thank you. Come on, guys. We'll take a little walk through the facility when we're going to end the show today to show you what's going on here. Come on, buddy. Excellent. It's pouring outside. We're going to go over to the big koi house after this anyway, so. All right. So Zach, not really very many. We will be picking out butterfly when we go to Japan in December. What I have left right now, it's not much. I have a few pieces. I think they're mostly Kumin Ryu, I believe. All right, so what's next on the agenda? You want to do these guys? Can you switch out that bowl? I'm debating. I'm gonna do these guys. Oh, you want to carry the whole bowl with water? Okay. All right, Michael's got his new method. All right, you want to bring these guys over?
No, it's okay.
Okay, these guys are from Shinoda. These are Nisai. These were going for $500, so 50% off. They're going for $250 today. Okay, these guys are from 12 to 14 inches. Good size. You have Kujaku, you have Ginrin Goshiki, we have Hiyutsuri, Ginrin Showa, Deutz Kohaku. Deutz Sanke. So here we got Deutz Sanke, Kujaku. Actually, it's more than from. It's not just Shinoda in here. I think we also have Fukusawa in here. Huh? Because the Goshiki is not from Shinoda. That's from Aoki. Okay.
Everything else is everything else.
This one?
Probably a
These guys are going for $250 today. These guys are from 12 to 14 inch. The 50% off special. These are some very nice fish going for $250 each. Check out this Deutz Sanke here. Another Deutz Sanke. Very nice. I like how the Benny goes from the top of his nose down one barbel. So he's got one barbel that's white and one barbel that's red. These guys are going for $250 each. So that's a nice Hiyutsuri. These guys are bigger, 13 to 14 inch. Going for $250 today. These are from Shinoda, $250.
Zach Barron is looking for a beautiful Showa.
All right, not in this batch here, Zach. Zach, I have some very nice Showa, but not in these price ranges. I have some Showa in the big koi house that I'm happy to show you. Or I can call you afterwards and we can do a personal koi shopper and show you.
Andy's asking what's the diameter of the net.
This net, I'm going to say it's about 13 inches. I'd have to get a tape measure. Have a tape measure? Take a look at this bowl, guys. Let me know if there's something you see that you're interested in. We're on our way to get our Goshiki. Kevin, did you just buy one before?
Yes.
Okay, Kevin. Sounds good. And then we gotta buy a new freaking tripod. This tripod doesn't work. I think we have one too. We have another one somewhere. Thank you.
Matthew likes one of the Sanke.
So I'm gonna guess that you're talking about this Sanke, because it's a really nice Sanke. Going for $250 today, guys. An amazing price. Is that the one?
Kim says yes.
Okay. It's yours. Is Kim a new customer? Okay. Very nice pick. Net is 12 inches. Just so you can see. The goshiki here. So this is a Deutsch Sanke here. You can see black sumi is coming up on here. This is going to be a really cool fish. You can see all this. Remember, guys, you're not just buying a fish based on what it is today. Okay, I can see black sumi coming up right here. Looks like some maybe on the head over here. And I can see more sumi coming up along the back here. So here, take a look. You can see, can you see that on the camera? You can see those black spots coming up?
When you get a chance, show the
Okay. Can you see those black spots in the camera? Yeah. So this is going to be a really cool fish. And it's red. And when I say red, like it doesn't get much redder than this. I don't know how it shows up on camera, but it's red. It's blood red. So this is going to be a really, really cool Deutsch Sanke. We should just put this in grow out. This fish is really cool. Anyone else before we move on? The goshiki. Here's the Ginrin goshiki. Sorry about that. It's already starting to darken up. This fish is, it's bending. It's at the tail. It's almost 13 inches, 12 and a half. Yeah. Andy didn't want his fish?
He says, I take.
Andy, you need to be sure. I don't want to. You definitely want this fish? Huh? All right, you got the picture?
I take it, okay.
Okay, it's yours. Okay. Guys, any other fish in here before we move on?
Andy then is asking, can I combine 2 weeks together for shipping?
2 weeks together. Does he have any other fish on hold? Okay, Andy. Yeah, I mean, we can hold the fish for 2 weeks if you're going to pick more fish. That's fine. Not fully understanding you, Andy, but whatever it is, I'm sure we're willing to work with you. So.
No, I think he wants, because he took fish last week, so he wants to combine it last week with today so he can get free shipping.
No, we can't do that. I'm already giving a 50% discount on these, Andy. So when you reach your $650, then we can do free shipping again. These guys are going for 50% off. Do we have any other takers? They're $250 each today. Otherwise, all good. We'll put them back and we're going to move on. Got the net. I don't think there's anything else in that tank. You want to just carry the whole bowl over? Okay. Probably need a little more, but. Okay, moving on to a different tank.
Okay, that was very unnecessary. That was unnecessary. Yeah, that's what I do in the year. You've done it when you were like, oh, I got 50, and you know, I got 50 back. Oh, I got 50 back. You know, like, yeah, my heart did. Are you fucking? Huh? About what?
Just this one?
Yeah. Last one. Well, is that all right or no? All right, so these guys are a bit bigger. Still same price. These guys are going for $250 each. These guys are again, same size net. You can see the size of these guys. These guys are roughly, I'm going to say 13 to 15 inches. This is one of the smaller ones. Ginner and Showa. These guys are $250 each. Take a look at what's in this bowl. Ginner and Shiro. Ginrin Shiro, Ginrin Tancho Sanke. Phone's dying? Excellent. My phone is dying. So take a look at these. Anything in this bowl you guys are interested in. These guys are $250 each. That's a steal for these guys. These guys are larger fish. This is gorgeous. 250 bucks.
Oh, bargain. It's the Sean Rosen I got my heart working again sale.
Any takers, guys? These guys are much bigger than what we had in the last bowl. These guys are 13 to 15 inch. They are going for $250. Normally these guys are $500 each. Any takers on anything in the bowl? Nope. I mean, look at this fish. This fish is the white, the Shiroji, the Ginrin Shiroji. So it's a Ginrin on the white is just super, super white. So when it shines with the light, it's just gorgeous. Got Sumis coming up around all around. Some good sized Kohaku here. They're $250 each. All good. If we're not going to take any, we'll just move on. Any takers on anything? All right. I want to give you guys a quick walkthrough of some other stuff while we're here. Let's put these guys back since someone's going to jump on them. So
Steal some of your Sarah food, some out of food.
there's little bags all over the place. So guys, we have some other fish here. These are the Suzuki.
Oh, I like Yamaha better.
50% off sale. These guys are going for $150 each. These are Deutsch Showa. I don't know if you can see these. That's what we have left on the Suzuki. These are all, everything in here is Deutsch. These are all Deutsch Showa. These are going for $150 each. What was that? They have a couple of Deutsch Shiro in there as well.
Are you selling this or are you getting rid of it?
Take it then, it's fine. I was going to take you over. It's pouring out. You can hear the rain is slamming against the greenhouse. Really starting to come down. I'm going to jump on over to the quarantine house. And here we go. Whew, it's nasty. So if you haven't seen, this is our quarantine house, guys. All separate tanks, separate filtration, separate bowls, separate nets. Fish that are going out right now. Ginrin Yamabuki, Kin Showa, Asagi, Shusui. All fish that are growing out. These guys will be available in December. You know, so when we start doing the winter show, these guys will become available. These are all grow out fish. I have more grow out fish over here. So I have Kujaku and Tanchikohaku from Isa. There's some Ginrin Goromo. Those are from Saito. And I have Ginrin Matsukawabaki. They are from Kano. Hey Jerry, you did, but you can definitely go back on the show and have a look. So I'm going to run on over to the big koi house. It is pouring out. There's more signs. These are the signs going in. These are around 8-foot signs. These signs are going to go out front. Zach, you still on the show? This is our big tank here, guys. Zach, you wanted to see some Showa? I have a couple of fish in here that are just, well, there's a lot of nice fish in here. I can just let this sit on this tank. Can I give these guys regular food yet? Can I give them regular food yet? Not yet? I hate this stupid thing. This tripod keeps on falling down. So, I'm sorry. I have some Doi Showa in here from Shinoda, but I also have some gorgeous Showa from Maruse. There's one right there. And I have a few in here from Maruse. Is that one of them here? That's not one of them. Is that one right there? Is that the Kase? But Zach, we can do a separate show with you. We'll do a personal koi shopper with you, and we can bowl all these fish up if you're interested. It's a really, really interesting Ginrin Tancho Ochiba. And here's actually my personal fish right here. The Benny Kiko down there. I'm gonna grow that one out. Another gorgeous Benny Kiko right here. If you guys are interested in any of these fish, let me know. The fish in this tank start at 3,000. It's a very nice Ginrin Matsukawabaki that just swam away right there. There he is. Any comments, questions? Look at the Maruse Showa put on some size.
All of them.
Huh?
All of them. They got bigger shoulders now. They're not skinny. They're like really beefy.
Yeah. This one too. You can see my hand. I'm pointing. There's a gorgeous Goromo coming up right now. Who are you, Suri? Yeah. I have a large Ginrin Ochiba in here and the Ginrin Tancho Ochiba. Pretty rare. Definitely not something you see every day. The most expensive fish is a fish you'd least expect in here. It's a Mukashi with perfect scalation, giant female. It's one of the biggest fish in here. Swimming, that's it right there. Fish is going for $8,500, $9,000.
Do all koi get this big?
No, they don't all get this big. There's a very large, you just missed it, a very large karasu in here. Deutz karasu from Aoki. It's right underneath the camera right there. There it is. Can you see it on camera? Did we sell the other Ginrin Ochiba? We just have the small one. So the Fukasawa?
It's there. What does perfect scalation mean? How does a fish have perfect scales?
So you can see each scale is perfectly individualized, symmetrical, lots of fukurin or skin in between each scale. Great body. She moves around a lot. She's not,
Very camera shy.
yeah, definitely camera shy compared to these guys. I don't want to put my hands in, but it's like a vacuum, it's just sucking it all in. Look at how red the Benny is on these Utsuri. Hey, Greg. Hey, Greg. How's it going? Oh, there it is. You see the red belly on the karasu? She just came up. Zach, here's one of those. Here's one of the Showa right here. Absolutely gorgeous from Maruse. There's another one right there.
Greg says watching you in college football.
Nice. Today's definitely a good day to be sitting in front of a TV. Check out this Benny Kiko, guys.
I have another question.
Yes.
Crystal is asking, how do you know if it's male or female? Is it different for every breed?
No, it's not different for every breed. I mean, there's some, I don't want to say telltale signs because everyone, it's very easy to get it wrong. But body shape is usually a pretty good giveaway. Pectoral shape, depending on the time of the season, you can actually feel on the males, their gill plates get like sandpaper when the fish are in season and ready to mate. The males, they'll get that sandpaper feeling on their gill plates. And you could also flip the fish over and take a look at the vents. But even the best of breeders get it wrong. But sometimes it's cool to we come out here and we just sit and we hang out by this tank and just got the big Yamabuki.
You're a big Yamabuki, buddy.
Sometimes. Depends on how I feel.
Good food fish. I was like, it's some purity view.
I don't know if the Yamabuki's gotten any bigger. Check out this Benny. Chris, check out this Benny Kiko over here.
Super white.
Yeah.
That's one over there.
Yeah. And they ran right here. Any more questions, guys? All right, I think at this point, I think we're going to call it for today.
What are you going to call it?
We're going to call it game over. Thank you guys for joining us. We had a lot of people on today. Thank you very much. I know it's a cold, rainy day. You guys picked some really nice fish. Thank you very much. And Colin, you want to say hi? Hi. Colin's eating a bagel. He's like, hi, and I'm going to get out of here. Check out that Goromo. That Goromo is gorgeous. Gorgeous Goromo. Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of the weekend. Stay warm, stay dry, and remember, if you have any questions, if you need anything from me, you can text me 516-547-0164. You can email me at sales@coinmarket.com. So email, call, text, hand signals, whatever you want. If you bought fish for the first time today, okay, you need to make sure you text me your full name, your address, your email address, and I'll get your cell phone number when you text me. Okay, make sure you text me if you bought fish for the first time today. Full name, address, email, send it to 516-547-0164. All right, have a great weekend.